So, good morning, Vicky, again. Beautiful
Good
Saturday.
morning. Good morning, my friend.
How are you doing? How are you doing?
Oh, I'm fantastic today. You know what? Today we are already in a month. Have you realized this?
Yes, a month.
We have been in a month on YouTube. So I would like to start, before starting with this episode, I would like to say thank you to all our Versus Visionaries that have left their comments, and I'm very
They
happy about
subscribe and they subscribe to the channel.
it.
I've seen
They subscribed. And I think that, my friend, we are like getting into our purpose with this, right?
when faced with the simple question, right? What's your purpose? Most people unleash a laundry list of tangible targets.
Yeah.
You know, snagging that promotion, or a new car or a new iPhone. But people usually, what is your purpose? People are saying, oh, my purpose is, to get promoted. My purpose is to do that, right? But let's not forget that ambitious plans of launching, anything or doing anything, they have much more underneath, right?
Yes.
The heart of purpose isn't just about the surface level to-dos. It's about revealing the deep-rooted drive that fuels every move. On the flip side, right, the goals are like, those kind of action items, right? We all have like our to-do list every day and
what
so
we
on,
want to
right?
achieve.
Right.
What we want to achieve.
What we want to achieve, right? And they are tangible. They are like tangible checkpoints that scream to us, you are on the right track, right?
Yeah.
So these concrete outcomes and milestones that pave our way towards our grand aspirations, actually, they really need to be boosted and they really need to come from within. And that is the purpose. Why we are doing what are we doing every day?
Yeah. Why are you getting up?
Why are you getting up? So the purpose is the why, right? While the goals, the real why, while the goals are the what. In between, we have the how. And I think that later on, we are going to talk about it, right?
Yes.
So to our dreamers and our visionaries, let's start to build back some layers and uncover some whys, right?
Yes.
And I'm really a big fan of the seven layers deep why exercise.
Oh, I love it. It's so
I love it, yes.
Right? Because you go to the root, to the real, the real and deepest why of your life.
Exactly. And for today, actually, I'd like to take as exercise doing the seven layers deep why. Our Versus podcast being an outcome. So the podcast, which everyone is looking at, and we are very thankful for that. Actually, it's an outcome coming from a very, very deep why. Yeah. So let's start with the first why. Why we created Versus Harmony in Contrasts?
Well, because we like the idea of having like a place, a podcast, something to share our ideas, right?
Yes.
Because we see also we had the opportunity of doing it together. The question would be why we wanted to share our experiences and why we wanted to do it together.
That's a very good question. And I'm gonna answer like this. I think we wanted to share our experiences because, first of all, there are very different experiences having commonalities as the root cause, right? And through sharing our life stories, actually, I believe that we are expressing some lessons, life lessons to others to benefit for. And the reason why we are doing this together is because because we are so different, but when we come together, we have this kind of chemistry,
Yeah.
and we complete so well each other that our life lessons combined, actually, they're very rich.
Yeah, it's true. Because we also receive a comment that says that we are so funny. So thank you so much for that.
Of course, we are funny. Life should be funny, right?
Yes.
So therefore, why we believe that our stories and learned lessons might be useful for others, Vicky?
Oof. Well, because because we went through so many stories, right? So many past experience, how so many things happened to us. And at that time, we didn't have this blueprint on how to deal with our specific situations. So we believe that sharing our stories can be helpful to fast the track of personal growth. Yes, to show a way. So people do not need to spend like 10 years like me to find that really why.
Why having a blueprint and guidance is important, right?
Mm-hmm.
My why is that I'm addressing, things like being myself 20 years ago, right? So imagine that someone being 20 years younger than I am is listening, is tuning to what we are saying, and is saying, oh, okay, so finding my purpose, 7 layers deep. If this is a method, why not apply it now and not 10 years later, right?
Exactly.
So I think, having a blueprint and guidance is important because you can save time. And not that you are not going to do your own mistakes, you're gonna do it. But at least some of the obstacles which you might face, right?
Or even you can avoid half of them, right?
Exactly.
At
yeah.
least.
So
Yes.
so I think the next why is that why is important that people will navigate with additional perspective, because we are bringing perspective from me 20 years ago, you 10 years ago, right? So why is going to be important that they are taking this perspective in?
Well, because I think they can create a much sooner positive impact in their life. Having this new perspective could enhance their ability to take action sooner, to do things, and not getting like 10 years to get them, to have the consciousness. They can save much time, precious time, that is something that cannot go back,
Yeah.
So, and they can start creating this impact in their life right now.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And go ahead.
my next question, would be like, why is important to create this positive impact, right?
Yeah, that is a very deep-rooted question, because I think each and every individual is coming with an impact in their own life, but in the life of others, right?
Yes.
Create a positive impact, it's like the legacy, right? And legacy is something which, like, you leave behind. Think about the young generations right now, right? Someone like you or I, 10, 20 years ago, right? Yes. Understanding the things, taking some learnings, fast tracking them, they will be able to create much faster that impact. And the legacy of a generation is going to be visible in a positive positive impact coming much faster, right? So I think having this kind of extraordinary potential, right, to create a legacy and to create an impact, it's something extremely powerful, right?
Yes. Even because I would like to think, when I'm about to leave this planet, what would I like be remembered by?
True.
And that's the legacy. What do you want to live in this world when you go away, when you live this life?
Coming with my own stories, my own experiences, boosted by knowledge, it's the kind of legacy which I really want to leave for generations to come. I also believe that, you know, when I'm thinking about my childhood and how I was brought up, right? I wish that I had the opportunity to learn or to fast track some of the things, right?
Yeah.
But you know, I'm not, you know, I don't regret anything from my life. Actually, I'm extremely grateful for the kind of experiences, the people I've met in my life. And my legacy is to really represent who I am and leave behind this kind of like, you know, learning and knowledge to people, to really take it on for long term and long time.
Beautiful.
My mom, I think, is going to be proud of me too.
She's already proud of you.
Yeah. So this is my personal why. Let's talk a bit about yours.
My why comes from the fact that I would really like to be a mom. No.
Yes.
And when think about this, it's so much responsibility to bring a child and what I'm going to teach to that child. So life has been like sending me this message that that I was hiding, you know, for the fact that I didn't feel I was conscious enough to bring a child to this world. So my real why is that I want to prove myself that I can be that conscious mother that can raise a child in a different way. As you said, maybe we didn't have the experiences in our childhood that we wished to or we needed to. So I want to become that person. And in order to be able to do it, in my mind, is like, I need to prove myself that I can do it. So my why is so powerful that it keeps me like getting up from that bed in moments even when I don't want to. And it keeps me like going ahead and focused even when a lot of things are coming to distract us, you know, the mermaid singings. And I said, no, I have a why and I have a purpose. This is my purpose. And I'm not going to get distracted, even because my time, my biological time is running, you know. That's why I'm here and I'm getting out of my comfort zone and I will do everything to prove myself that I'm that person.
I love your why. And I think that the beauty is that our individual whys, you know, they might be different, right? But even it might be different at first glance, they are so very similar, right?
Yeah.
In so many
they're the same because we both want to leave this legacy and this blueprint for new generations.
Yeah. So I think that knowing our why is essential for living a purpose-driven life, right? And as a conclusion, I think, you know, the exercise which we just did, you know, the 7 layers why, it's a very useful and we encourage you to do it. And I think this is going to be one of the actions for today. But I also would like that we recommend couple of very good books. And I think one of the authors writing, you know, starting with why, finding why, Simon Sinek. I really love the way how he's explaining, you know, the why, your purpose, the how. It's all about how you do it. You do it with courage, with creativity. You do it with intent, with passion, right? And after that, you know, he's talking about the what, the objectives, you know, those kind of like milestones which we plan. But to that, I also would like to add the 4th direction, and that direction is where, right? Because understanding your purpose, knowing how you do it, and the motivation coming right from within, and having your milestones. The big question is, where are you going, right? Yeah. And understanding that, where are you going, your aspiration, and that kind of like, you know, vision, I think is as important as like understanding your why. So
yeah, because if you just understand your why, but then you don't do anything,
yes, yeah.
what are you going to do with your why? You need to go out and do something about it.
Simon is saying your why is the most important thing in your life. It's your purpose, right? It's the reason you do what you do. It's the reason you keep going when things are getting tough. Right, so it's a very simple concept, though so very insightful. Vicky, do we have any kind of other resources to give to our Versus Visionaries, or we are just going to go straight to our message to the universe?
Well, let's go to the universe and then we think about it. Maybe this is going to help because this week we have Venus that is highly active, She's going to connect with Chiron, with Uranus, with Neptune, with Pluto, with Lilith. So we cannot take advantage of this week, all this Venusian energy, and go and look for our passions. Go to connect with your heart, with our heart, She's going to enter Leo. Leo is our heart. Is what is that flame yes, it would be you and me this year too. This year I'm a Leo. So Venus entering Leo, and with all these connections we can start growing this passion inside. Go and look for it. If you don't know yet what you like, what you don't like, what would you like to do, this is the time to do it. Go and look for your talents, what you really like, what makes your heart beat faster, some activities that when you do them you start creating beautiful things, because the energy of Leo just wants to share his own heart with the world. And that in fact is our why, something that comes from our heart, and we want to spread it, all this light. So it would be a beautiful week to take advantage of this energy, and even do it as an exercise. Write a list of all the things that I really like, and even going back in time, what I used to do before that was burning inside of me, all this creativity, all this passion, and bring it back. What about you?
Connect with the heart desires, as we like saying, what kind of activities you lose track of time, right?
Exactly.
It's the reading, it's drawing, it's scribbling things on a journal, right?
Yes.
Because asking yourself why do you like that, actually, and applying 7 layers deep, it might reveal a much deeper purpose, right? And also I think the other thing which can really start shaping your why is doing this exercise, asking why all the time, why you are doing what you are doing, why I'm gonna be signing up for that course, why I want to get promoted, right?
Yes.
Applying this, I think people will learn that what drives them, it's very different than what has been articulated in the first time, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
They will be surprised.
And there is another model. Actually, I somehow invented this model. It's called PIPA model, PIPA, right? Okay. It's about passion, inspiration, purpose, aspiration, right?
Okay.
It's a very nice model, starting with really reflecting about your passions, right? After that, trying to think what inspires you. What inspires you can come from various sources, right? You can have people to whom you are looking up. You can have a poetry which you are reading. You have a painting, nature, right? Mm-hmm. But after that, combining passion and the inspiration, and start, really asking the whys around the purpose, right? It's very powerful because you already know so much about yourself, right?
Yes.
And after that, you can really think, saying that what I'm doing with this purpose, what I'm doing with this passion, what my aspiration, my long-term aspiration is. Because an aspiration is not something which you are having like for a year or two, it's something which is long-term. It's that kind of North Star which you are like, dreaming going, right?
Okay.
So dear visionaries, thank you so much for tuning in today. Like us, dislike us, subscribe. Again, much grateful for all the subscriptions which we are getting like every day. And if I'm about to articulate a call to action for you guys, is that take one thing in your life which you like, a goal in your life, and try to understand why you are doing it. Apply the 7 layers deep why, and you're gonna be surprised about your findings. Yes. If you care sharing with us, go connect with us on YouTube, leave a comment, and share the brilliant discovery which you just made applying this method. So by next Saturday, big love to our Versus visionaries, and
harmonizing the contrast.
Harmonizing contrast.
Friend,
ciao, Vicky.
Have a beautiful week. See you next Saturday.
See you next Saturday, my friend. Bye.
I have a question today for you and our Versus visionaries, my friend Kira.
Amazing. Let's go. Let's do it.
Have you ever felt trapped in a cycle of repeating stories, like attracting the same experiences over and over again? Like this movie that is called Groundhog Day with Bill Murray, which he wakes up and every day is the same day.
Yeah, actually that resonates with a message which we received on our YouTube from Mary, saying that she sees that in her life there is a pattern. She's attracting almost, the same things, like repeating, like a circle, right?
Yes.
First of all, thank you, Mary, for leaving that comment. This episode is somehow related to your message. So guys, keep sending messages because we pay attention and we try to come up with topics which are coming from, what you recommend, right?
We get even inspired.
So today we are going to dive into a topic that it's called bad luck versus resonance. Have you ever wondered if the so-called bad luck that shadows your steps is more than just misfortune, right? What if there is a deeper resonance at play, a hidden harmony influencing every twist and turn of your journey? Right? So I think, what we are like, considering, bad luck, right? Actually is coming from the vibrations and the resonance that we are sending to the universe. And this is what is shaping our lives, right?
This is a topic that comes with me since I'm a teenager, It's been following me all this time. That's why I'm getting like, I don't know if expert, but at least when the pattern comes, I can see it in the corner,
Okay, so tell us more about it then.
Well, since I'm a teenager, I started perceiving that I was repeating the same stories. It was funny because I could see it clearly that, wow, the face is different, the name is different, but the story is the same.
The story,
and it was it was like repeating over and over, and I was like, why? I couldn't understand it at that time, but I was able to recognize it. And it was not only with boyfriends, it was with friends and even at work. It was like repeating all the time. So at one point I started like saying, oh, hey, I need to go deeper to understand this in order to stop doing it, because even I could see how the relationship was changing. It was not just one thing in a specific, but I used to get with one person, and then the relationship started changing, and it was like happening again. At the beginning was like everything perfect, and then somehow the story started repeating.
You ended up in the same point, right?
In the same point, with different people in different situations. So I started like getting deeper in this, and in fact, like my story is that when I go into a relationship, either if it is a friendship or it is a romantic relationship, I always end up being the mother or a therapist of people. It's like stronger than me.
Or you are getting, you know, you are trying to be something else and you are getting into the friend zone. You know, you become
because I want to avoid this. I need to avoid this. But it was so shocking, you know, that oh my God, I am again falling in this pattern of being the mother or being the therapist of everyone. And this happened even in the supermarket queue, you know, at the bank. Yes. Like the person in front of me suddenly went back to see me and started like telling me all the things in their lives. It was like extreme. So I started going deeper and started studying, understanding why I was repeating familiar patterns.
Yep.
I have an information in my veins, and that information vibrates in a specific frequency.
Yes.
So when I go out to the world, that frequency resonates with people that have the same vibration and the same information like me, but in the opposite polarity, because we live in a dual world. You know, we have the left hand, we have the right hand, we have on the top, on the bottom. So we are dual.
Yeah, opposite attracts, polarity.
Opposite attracts.
Versus is.
Versus is. So I was attracting people that needed a mom, for example, or a therapist, and I was in this role. So once we get this information, we can change this vibration by doing things differently. Like Bill Murray in the movie, if you've seen it, he wakes up in the same day with the same situations, and he needs to find out how to go out from there. And he starts, every day he wakes up, he starts doing different things to try to not to wake up in that day anymore.
Changing habits.
Changing habits. Yeah.
So I think, you know, there is no such thing as bad luck, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's just that the universe is nudging us to resonate differently or with a higher purpose, right?
Yeah.
How we are going to be able to change the frequency, to change that vibration in a way that we are attracting the things which we need and they fill in our purpose.
Mm-hmm. That's a beautiful question. The first thing I do is to deal with my emotions, because as I keep repeating the same story, I keep like repressing frustration, anger, you know, fear. I was vibrating also in this low frequency with all the emotions I was not able to express and to do it differently. Because when you see the pattern, you start to practice putting some limits, yes, changing these behaviors. So you need to be courageous to do it. So the way I find to change this was working on my own emotions, first of all, to raise my vibration. I started like putting some limits because I was not able to put a limit before. This was a role I was performing, so I thought in my mind that I needed to perform it no matter what.
Yeah.
So I started allowing myself to say, hey, no, I don't want to be in this role anymore. And when I started doing that, I needed to hold the uncomfortable feeling of getting away from that role. and even creating uncomfortable feelings among the people that was around me, because they were accustomed to that role.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So I started like working on my emotions, putting some limits, saying no. So I developed that what is called the coherence, emotional coherence of saying, I want this, I don't want this. And allow myself to say no. I don't want this because I'm looking for something else. You know?
Yeah, allowing yourself to say no.
Yes.
That's actually a very important change in habits.
Yes.
Changing, from saying yes all the time to pause, to reflect, and after that to say no, or as I like saying yes in your condition. Right?
Exactly. Yes, but like this.
Yeah, exactly. So I would also add to things which people they might consider like, doing, especially when you want to change, the information, the way how you vibrate with others, right? It's like, changing habits, right?
Yeah.
So if you are doing the same things all the time, right? Okay, you're gonna always attract the same kind of people coming to
and
you.
you will have the same results.
And then you're gonna have the same results. Changing those kind of things, like for example, today I will not drive my car, I'm just gonna take the public transportation. I'm taking a very simple example, right?
Yeah.
So taking the public transportation might come with some benefits. You might meet people. Yes, it might take longer, but maybe you have time maybe to listen to your podcast, to do something else instead of driving, right? So let's take this as an example.
Okay.
In order to be able to change from like, stop driving, go public transportation, right? It takes, first day, you're gonna feel like resistance, like saying that, oh no, my car is just downstairs. I'm not gonna walk another 500 meters, right? So changing habits is going to take small, simple steps.
Yes.
Do like, small changes which are going to lead to bigger steps. There is one book which I recommend, especially when it comes to changing habits and doing this kind of Kaizen, small simple steps. It's the Limitless book of Jim Quick.
Okay.
I do recommend. There is a chapter called exactly Small Simple Steps, talking exactly how important is to recognize your bad habits and how you can change them, right? And usually to change a habit, it takes in average 66 days. Some they can do it in 24 days, some they can do it in 200 days. It depends on the discipline, right? Because discipline and action is going to give the results.
They are linked.
Right.
Exactly.
And the other thing which I encourage and it goes with what you were saying about visualization. Actually, I so love visualization exercises, right? Some people they just do it through meditation, but some people are very visual, right?
Yes.
So there is one exercise which I really like, changing your vibration. It's about changing the way how you think about you and the things you aspire to, right? Which means that you can have like a very simple 5, 6, 10 photos visual board.
Okay. Yes, I like it.
Yeah, because if you have it, and I have my my flip chart here, right? Sometimes on my flip chart I do also visual boards, right? Where I really take pictures from various magazines, newspapers, right? And I just put it on a board. Those pictures actually they represent how I do want to do things, how I do want to see myself, where I want to go, right? And that is going to change the vibration, right?
Yeah, your emotional state.
Exactly, the emotional state, which is going to implicitly affect the vibration and the message you send to others.
And even when we have like a higher emotional state, we can start like making more decisions and taking more steps when we are like with fear, when we are like here vibrating in a low frequency. Most of the time we stay here, you know?
Exactly.
So if we elevate our vibration, we can feel more encouraged, like powerful.
Empowerment. Yeah.
Yes, powerful to go and do what I need to do.
Yeah.
So that's also a good.
So visualization, visual boards, they are really able to lift you from a low frequency to a high frequency.
Yes.
Right.
And I would also like to add the writing to break free from old patterns. You know, it's like they can go at the same time. Like make a list. If you are now that you are hearing Versus Visionary, you are hearing and you recognize that you are repeating a story, just write down the pattern. What is repeating? What is the learning behind that story that keeps repeating, so that you start like recognizing what you are doing and what you can change. So we can start just with one. Okay.
Simple steps.
Simple step. I recognize that every time I meet someone, I do this. Okay. Next time I meet someone, what I'm going to do?
I do one step more.
Exactly. I will change this thing that now I'm recognizing.
Yeah.
And then we can get free from that Groundhog Day.
Yes. And so Vicky, let's see right now, based on our resonance, what we are attracting from the universe.
Well, the universe is always loving us, my dear Kira. Yes, because he always sends what we need. In this week, we have Mars, that is our inner warrior, that is going to be very active and is going to be he's going to do a powerful conjunction with Uranus. That is my preferred one. Okay. They are going to be together in Taurus, and this is like a powerful energy to break free. Imagine that Uranus is that energy that says, I'm up to here. I don't want to repeat anything else. So Uranus always invites us to do things differently, to change, to get free from our prisons, right? And Mars is our warrior. So he's going to conjunct Uranus, and they're going to say, okay, let's get free from this. So we can
let's break free.
Let's break free, but always remember, with free will.
With free will, true.
We need to be responsible for the actions we're going to do. So that's why it's recommended to write down, to make this vision board exercise where we want to go and what actions we're going to take, because we need to direct our warrior. If not, he can get uncontrolled and can do things like, I don't know, hitting a door and then go back to knock it, you know?
Yeah.
We need to take care of this. It's
all
a
right.
powerful energy.
What we vibrate and the way how we resonate, we also like attract. And I'm thinking about, the generosity, right? I think one thing which I found in my life very interesting is that generosity is not just an act of like, doing good or like, giving money someone, right? Generosity, it has to come from a place of purpose, right? And going into a call to action, right? I would like to ask our Versus Visionaries to think about two things this time. So one is that I would like to ask them to make that visual board. Take the magazines, which are like, somewhere on a shelf, under your bed, and,
yes.
cut some photos which are going to really increase the vibration of your resonance, right?
Mhm.
And have it display everywhere handy. Take a photo, have it on your phone, take a look once in a while. Tell us how you feel about it. Tell us, if indeed that is really going to change the vibration or the resonance which you currently have. But the other thing which I would like to ask our Versus Visionary is just make a genuine gesture of kindness or
Beautiful.
generosity, right? Based on what goes around comes around. These are those kind of good vibrations which are coming back multiplied.
Exactly. Yes. Because the universe gives us what we give.
Exactly.
My mentor always says, if you don't know what you give, look at what you are receiving.
Exactly. So with this said, thank you, Versus Visionaries. Like us, dislike us, subscribe. Thank you for being with us. Thank you for your comments, your questions. Pour your ideas, make recommendations to us
keep suggesting topics that we get inspired.
Exactly. And until next Saturday, you keep harmonizing the contrasts.
Bye
Ciao,
bye.
Vicky. Bye.
Ciao, ciao, my friend.
Bye. Good morning.
Good morning, my friend. How are you doing today?
Summer, beautiful weather, everything is vibrating at high resonance.
We are vibrating higher with this energy.
So today, Vicky, what are we talking today? What is the topic of our...
It's a topic that really touches me, I will tell you.
Okay.
Because we are going to discuss the I versus we.
Our stories are so different, right?
Yes, completely. That's why.
someone was asking me before jumping into this podcast, are we talking about the I versus C like a couple, or are we talking about the kind of teamwork, community, and so on? So anyhow, any kind of story which we are going to tell today is going to start with the lone wolf. Right?
Yeah.
So what if I told you that in life's wild ride, the power of many can supercharge the determination of one? Okay. So yes, so let's picture this, right? Think about a lone wolf, shouldering the weight of the world, fueled by sheer grit and a bit of stubbornness, right?
Yeah.
But here is the plot. Here is the twist, right?
I can picture it quite well, let me tell you.
While going solo may seem very heroic, right? It can also drain your resources faster than a squirrel on espresso, right? Like having an espresso, right? And like a slot, going into a sprint, right? So the game changer is asking for help. The real magic happens when actually we drop the kind of lone ranger act and embrace the chaos of community, right? Let's ditch the cape of self-sufficiency, dive into the fun of teamwork, and let the power of many propel us to victory, right? Who said that the path of success couldn't be a thrilling, hilarious, full of fun and wildly entertaining adventure, right? While instead of going by yourself, you lean into your community and you really share the success and the victories together.
That is amazing. I'm just picturing it in my head because I'm a lone wolf, Or I was.
We entrepreneurs, we are lone wolves. I don't know how your story goes, but I picture that it's pretty much similar with mine. When stepping in this entrepreneurial path and thinking that you're gonna write a book, you're gonna do your podcast, you're gonna be the master of your marketing strategy, and you are pretty much by yourself. I'm by myself in my entrepreneurial journey, right? The time which I spent to write my first book, which is upcoming, and we are going to talk about it, Searching for Love, right? The podcast which we created, we worked so much individually and by ourselves, right?
Yes.
So we spend so much with ourselves that this might look like a very lonely journey, right?
And many times it is.
Exactly. And stepping into my entrepreneurial journey, I knew very little about it. Let's call it like this, right? And from all the perspective and things which I had in my head, I realized that I can't do everything by myself, right?
Yes, we can do it. The thing is, as you said, how we're going to do it. Maybe we're going to spend so much energy, yes, in doing it alone, that maybe doing it with someone else would be easier.
I did exactly what you said, right? So I was thinking, being stuck with not knowing how to find a publishing house, not knowing what editing of a podcast is all about, right? So I get unstuck asking for help.
Yes.
And when you ask for help and you bring your vibration and the well intent into that, actually the help is being given, right?
Yes.
And we've seen that, with at least with this podcast, with our podcast, right? We gather around us a team of people. We have an amazing producer. Yes, we do. We do have some people around us helping us to be timely, to really try to choose the best topics, to come with the most relevant examples, right? So all this is the power of the community and the power of the team. Because by myself or you by yourself, maybe we're about to spend the next 12 months doing that.
Yeah, maybe we would do it, but in our way, with less resources, in a different manner, but it wouldn't be the same result.
Exactly. So when I think about my entrepreneurial journey, what I learned in the first 6 months is that as much value as I bring as individual, my value multiplies with the help of the community or people around me helping me on my journey. Because bringing additional talent, additional skill, actually that's a fast track to progress.
Yes.
Right? And I've met so many brilliant people on my entrepreneurial journey, and each of them, they are coming with so various perspectives and diverse point of views that in itself, it's another dimension which brings, richness and brings value to what I'm doing.
Like this phrase that says, 2 minds think better than one, right?
Exactly.
But let me ask you something, because before being an entrepreneur, you were in the corporate world for 20 years. So you already know how to work with a group, right? In community.
Yes. And also the corporate jobs, they can be lonely sometimes, right? And it's true that I've been privileged, right? I've been privileged that, you know, I had some very nice, cool teams. I learned that the team work, the collaboration, giving feedback, asking feedback, these are like, you know, critical. Asking for help, this is something which actually everyone, I believe, should improve, right?
Yes.
Because
We
asking for
we don't
help
know to do it.
comes, you know, you really need, it comes from a moment of like, you know, it's my pride, my vanity. Should I ask? How do I feel? That kind of judgment, right?
They are going to be vulnerable.
Vulnerable,
Many people
helpless,
confuse,
hopeless, you know what
yeah.
I
Or many people confuse vulnerability with weakness.
Exactly.
So I'm not going to ask for help because they will think I'm weak. You know, I can't do it.
So I learned how to ask for help, also revealing the value for the others, right? Because usually you go and you ask for help knowing that that person is going to come with an input because you know that they are knowledgeable, they have the experience, they know how to do it, right?
And even to be humble to receive that help. Because many times we receive feedback, but we don't like it, you know? So we need to be humble to receive that feedback or that help and say, okay, I'm not perfect.
Yes.
I'm not too perfect. I'm not perfect. I can't do anything. So I need someone to rely on.
Yeah. Yeah, it's that kind of like, you know, like ask boldly, receive, you know, gratefully, right? Because we don't know what we don't know, and in this life we don't know everything, right?
Yeah, and the thing is that even though we feel we are self-sufficient, we are social beings. The human being is a social being, and we need help. It's like it was tough for me to learn this because I'm a lone wolf since always. Since I'm a little girl, I was doing things for myself. So I grew up believing that I can do it, you know, because that's what I had. I can do it. So I put this on my mind and said, no, I can do it. So I don't need help. So it was tough to learn to ask for help and to say, hey, I can't do this alone. Or any directions, you know. And the thing is that I had to learn that we are social beings. When you go to the supermarket, you're going to buy products that someone else created. If you want to, I don't know, eat a potato, someone else wrote that potato and bring it to the market for you to eat it. So we need people. Even though many times we say, we tell ourselves that we can do it. I don't need the help of anyone. Yes, you need it. Even when where you live, someone built that home. You know, we don't live in a cavern. Or the internet we're using, someone is like working for you to have an internet connection.
True. So I think, you know, when we talk about the lone wolf versus community, it's the I versus we, right? Embracing vulnerability, also forging authentic relationships, it's important, right?
Yes.
You surround yourself with people, as I said, mindset alike. You really, you know, that you can rely on, right?
Yes.
The diversity of the perspectives, you know, the gratefulness after asking help, all those things should lead us to embrace the power of community, which is going to help us accelerate our path for growth and accelerate everything what we are doing. So, Vicky, what the universe is thinking about we
and I? Well, as I always say, the universe is always, or we are aligned with the universe, or the universe loves us, because this week we're completely aligned with this energy. The sun is going to enter into Leo, which is his reign. In Leo, the sun is like in his full potential, is magnified, the energy is magnified. And the sun is my true essence, is me, I, But as soon as he gets into Leo, he's going to oppose to Pluto. And Pluto is in Aquarius. And this is something new for us as humanity, because no one has lived what Pluto is in Aquarius, And Aquarius represents the community.
Okay.
So we are going to have like an opposition between I and we this week that is going to be powerful, really powerful. What Pluto is trying to convince the sun to do is like, hey, we need to work in community. We need to work together for having a better planet. That is what Pluto is going to teach us for the next 20 years.
Wow.
Because in the following months, he's going to go back to Capricorn a little bit, and then he's going to, at the end of the year, he's going to come to Aquarius again, and he will stay there for 20 years. And he will invite us, let's say, for not saying that he's going to oblige us, invite us to start building new communities, like real communities, like living, as you said, leaving the ego aside and potentially in unity, work together, because that's what Aquarius wants.
Yeah.
That we together as a whole, a collective, goes to the future, and we are more sustainable, and we take care of Gaia, our Mother Earth. So this week it can be like confronting energy because they are like crashing, but at the same time we can see clearly those things that we need to start changing to go and start walking to that new community we want to build.
Yeah. So that gives a lot of thinking when it comes to the next 20 years and how many things we can really think of doing for our Mother Earth. But this could be the topic of another episode, right?
Yeah, because I think we're going to see a lot of changes.
Yes.
You to imagine the last time that Pluto was in Aquarius was for the Industrial Revolution or the French Revolution. So I don't know.
everything is going to turn on or turn up for the better.
Yeah, I hope so. That we learn to work together as a community.
As resources, we are thinking about an exercise, right? You call it the lone wolf. I call it like, bridging, I versus we. But in essence, I think that the exercise is
the same.
Is the same. There are like, 2-3 steps, right? And I'll start with, the first one, which we thought about it, right? And we exercise it as well. And it comes with all this kind of like the first step in bridging I versus we. It's about, personal reflection, right?
Yes.
Like you think about a goal which you want to achieve, things which you struggle with, right? And you think about how are you approaching the situation and what kind of personal strengths you rely on and what kind of strengths you are missing, right? This might be a first step, like, thinking about, okay, so I'm in this situation today, I have this goal, these are my strengths, I'm missing this, I'm stuck with that, what's next? Right.
And before that, I would like to add something to this first step, that is our values.
True.
What are our values that are guiding our life? Because that will also influence the next steps, right?
And also
what we're going to attract.
And
what we're going to attract.
Yes.
Exactly.
Yeah. So I think that the second step is that after this reflection, I think we should ask our versus visionaries to really go out there into the community, their family, their friends, and start having the conversations about what they are trying to accomplish, what they are struggling with, and to really see what is the input coming back, what perspective they are bringing back, and how those perspectives might help them. Also asking for help. If you struggle with something, saying, you know what, I'm struggling with this, I don't know where to start. What do you think about it? Right?
Some suggestions.
Do you know someone going through the same situation who can help me with, right? And having this kind of like community conversations or like, friendship conversations, take that input and reflect again. Yes. What did you learn? Did you find the resources? Did you find the answers to the questions you have? Right?
Yeah. And if not, maybe they have to redirect the same step to other communities, to other groups.
Exactly.
If they are not receiving what they are looking for, that is aligned,
Anything else about the bridging I versus we, and getting the lone wolf, embracing the beauty of the community, or we are going straight call to action?
Well, then the third step, I would say, in my case, was to seek for an accountability partner. Once I get all those answers, I know what I want, I know what are my values. So I make a list of the people that can help me, and then reach that people and see if I can find someone that wants to do it with me.
True. Action. Take action. So I think for our versus visionaries, for as call to action,
let's say,
try to have a bridge I to we exercise. Write down one of your goals or your struggles. Go out there within your inner circle, community, friends, and start discussing about things where actually you need help. Ask for help. Take it and act upon it. Let us know how asking for help and really getting the power of the community, supercharging your own objectives, works for you. And let us know if there are any other topics which we can come up in order to help you achieve your personal growth and what you desire.
Exactly.
So by next Saturday, like us, dislike us, subscribe. A lot of love.
And harmonize your contrasts.
Thank you, Vicky. Ciao.
Bye-bye. Ciao.
Bye.
Good morning.
Good morning,
Happy
Vicky.
Saturday. Good morning, Versus Visionaries.
Another beautiful Saturday for our Versus Visionaries.
Yes, we are here again. I'm perfect because we are here again. Same channel, same hour, same people, same us.
We are receiving so many messages, right? On YouTube, on our Instagram or LinkedIn or Facebook. And I really want to say that this episode actually has been inspired by one of the recommendations coming from one of the many messages which we are receiving. So welcome to Mindfulness versus Chaos. So when you think about, this, Vicky, what is in your mind?
Let's see. When we talk about mindfulness and chaos, I just think about the world itself. That is always like we are in the turmoil, right? Have you ever wondered how to maintain your inner calm when the world around you is in this hurricane, in a turmoil?
Yeah.
Right?
The picture which I get in my head, that I'm very visual, right? In general, when I'm talking about, mindfulness versus chaos, I picture, this kind of like, Zen master, right? In, full meditation mode, and everything is around him is like, just, flying monkeys and the jungle and the chaos,
buildings like destroying.
Exactly,
And he's sipping a tea, right?
Yeah. He's just like, like sipping a tea, full meditation, full Zen, and everything. And there is nothing around him disturbing him from that state of mind.
Exactly.
So the chaos, it's around him, not within him.
Exactly, and that's the key.
Yes.
That's what we're going to talk about.
Yeah. So while chaos reigns supreme, our fearless mindfulness, right? Our warriors, right? They are really standing like, unfazed, they are ready to drop. We are ready to drop some very serious Zen bombs today, right? And I would like, start sharing a very simple story, right? So today, actually, I got up very late with 100 things on my plate, like 100 things to do. And when you are in this kind of like, rushing through everything, we have to record the podcast. I really need to write some of the posts for my Instagram. I really need to have some other, tasks to do for Mastermind. So when you have so many unrun a business, right?
Yeah.
When you are like, when I was getting up late this morning, I was in panic mode.
Okay.
It was chaos. I didn't know what to do first. I didn't know, shall I just, text few people to take care of some of the things? Shall I text you to say, let's start 30 minutes later? Am I going to drink my coffee? Oh, someone is ringing at the door. And in that chaos, what do you think I did?
Knowing you or not knowing you?
Let's say knowing me.
Just breathe.
So in that chaos, I took some very deep breaths and I pictured my happy place.
Okay. Nice.
I'm gonna disclose to everyone here to know that my happy place.
Oh, we're among friends. Don't worry.
Yes. My happy place. It's a very wild beach on an island in Caribbeans.
Nice.
Well, actually, when I picture myself there, I have my surfboard next to me. The water is still dripping because I just had a very good surf. And I'm really watching the ocean and the waves, crashing on land. That for me is my happy place. So when I'm in chaos, to really center myself in a very short, simple meditation is like,
beautiful.
Breathe, close my eyes, my happy place. What is yours when you are in chaos, Vicky? What you do?
Well, this is our versus too, because our story is different. You come from the city, right?
Yeah, I'm a city girl.
You are a city girl. I'm a countryside girl. Yes, I had the privilege of growing up in the countryside, surrounded by nature and animals, and almost not noise at all. The singing of the birds and the barking of my dogs were like my daily life. So when I grew up and I started traveling to the city to study at university, I started encountering this chaos, this city, you know. The streets were crowded and a lot of noise everywhere, hornings. So at that time, I started like feeling what you mentioned, that you feel like, oh my God, so much noise, so much things, because in my place, there was not such a thing. We were always like quiet. I grew up as a calm and quiet soul, you know?
Oh, that's beautiful. That's
Yes.
beautiful.
But I remember this episode of started traveling to the city. So when I was 21, I initiated myself in the Reiki practice. I become a Reikist. So I remember one day my master Dora gave me a huge piece of advice about chaos, because I was like, oh, okay, master, I need to meditate because all this sound, I need to focus the things that we need to like be in our center to feel the energy, yes, and receive the messages from the other side. So I was like panicked because I don't know how to meditate. I cannot stay like this for 1 hour in silence, you know. So I remember she said, Vicky, you need to learn to meditate, even on a bus.
Oh, yes.
There will always be noise and chaos in the world. Always. You cannot wait until you find a quiet and relaxing place to feel like balanced, and to feel that you have all the things around you to start meditating and become a monk, you know? You need to do it even with the chaos surrounding you. And this phrase is, it took me so much, like, oh my God, I need to remember this. And until this day, even when I go to the street, I remember her words. And I said, okay, remember that you need to find that balance inside of you. The world is not going to change. So you need to go inside and find that balance. So it's similar to what you do, but I just close my eyes. When I feel that I'm getting nervous, for example, I go to the subway, and the subway is always crowded. And just when I feel that I'm getting nervous, you know, and I notice it, and I said, okay, let's remember that I need to feel, I need to find that inner balance inside of me. So I just close my eyes, I breathe deeply, and I remember that inside of me there is always peace.
Yes, yes. Because, you know, mindfulness, it's not about stopping the chaos, right? Mindfulness, it's about finding peace within it and shutting those kind of like noises and disruptions, and get to that kind of like, you know, silence within, where actually on a very quick pace, you can recollect and you can move on.
Exactly.
So meditation, deep breaths, you know, happy place. I give one more tip here, right? Some people, they just be, you know, going into a state of like, you know, mindfulness, just taking a short walk. For me, what works is like, you know, taking a walk, but I really like to walk, you know, barefoot on sand or grass.
Oh, beautiful.
Because that connection and the kind of like the fact that, you know, you feel that connection with the mother nature is also, you know, helping you calm yourself in the middle of chaos, right?
Yes, exactly. I love it. And I also do something like that. But I started like focusing on nature around me, even on the trees, you know. When I start feeling like this, I walk. I do a nature walk like you, but I start focusing on the leaves, for example, the flowers, their color, their texture, even the clouds. Many times I just look at the sky and I start looking how the clouds are moving. If they are moving fast because there's wind, if they are not moving, there is no wind at all. And that exercise allows me to be present.
True. True.
That exercise of focusing on the details brings me back to the present moment. And when we go back to the present moment, there is no chaos, there is no anxiety, because anxiety comes when we are focusing on the future. We don't know what is going to happen, so we get anxious. If we are depressed and we are sad, it's because we are focusing on the past. So when we are present in this exact moment, we're just feeling our body, we're feeling the surrounding, we're enjoying nature, and that brings us to the center again, to be balanced.
Amazing. So Vicky, thank you so much. Actually, that while you were talking,
I picture it.
I picture it, but I must confess something, right? And until now, I didn't realize that it's connected to mindfulness. But every time, especially in the spring, right? And I have some favorite flowers, but roses in general are my favorite flowers, right? I like kissing a rose and really feeling, the petals, the velvet, the velvety petals. And it's like taking in like that kind of calm and that kind of beauty, right?
And softness, right?
And softness, exactly. So while you are talking about like looking to the leaves and flowers and the nature in itself, actually, I said, oh my God, the reason why sometimes I go to like a rose kind of like bush is just that, and someone seeing me kissing me a flower on the street, they might think that I'm crazy, but actually that brings me a lot of calm and beauty, right?
Yeah, and you're not crazy. I also hug trees, let me tell you. Sometimes I go and just hug a tree and I receive the energy, and I appreciate and say thank you for them to be there, right? Because they are the ones that give us life.
True.
So I think that to be mindfulness, to be not let chaos control our life, we need to go back to nature.
True.
If you see nature is always like calm. It has a biological time. Yes.
Yes.
Trees are always there. Grounding.
Yes, grounding. Yes. So Vicky, what kind of message the universe is telling us about the chaos or the mindfulness in our life?
It's telling us exactly the same, Today, in these days, we have the waning moon in Taurus.
Okay, what that means?
Taurus represents the earth. It's the energy that connects to the earth and to our body that belongs to the earth, right? So Taurus talks about enjoying life, enjoying the present moment, enjoying our senses. Yes, when we talk about Taurus, we can talk about how something feels, the velvety of a rose, the smell of a rose. If we eat something we really like, how does it taste, So Taurus talks about the senses, and the waning moon always invite us to go inside of us, because the phases of the moon are 4, and the waning moon is the last one. When the moon, after being full with all the power and all her light, starts like going inside again and is preparing itself to go to the black moon, to the black mooning that is called. So in a waning moon, we have like an opportunity to go inside, to start reflecting on ourselves, to take time. And in Taurus, invite us to take our biological time, to respect our senses, to respect that sometimes life has other times for processes that we don't accept. Many times we want to do something quickly, we want to get something now, and life does not work like that. There are processes. So we can enjoy this slow and steady and nurturing energy to take some time. and to look for that peaceful place inside of us in order for us to be prepared for the external chaos, right?
Amazing. Amazing. So if we are about to ask a call for action, right, from our Versus visionaries, what I'm thinking that we would love to see in the comments on YouTube, what is your place of mindfulness? What are you doing in order to find that kind of peace in the midst of the chaos, right?
Yeah, data strategies, so that we can learn new strategies too, right?
Exactly, we can learn new strategies. Or tell us if any of our tips, right, are helpful to you. But give us, ideas. What else you are doing in order to really find mindfulness and practice mindfulness in the midst of the chaos. So by next Saturday, subscribe, like, dislike. We value your comments and your recommendations and feedback.
We'll always read them.
Yes. And Vicky, it's a pleasure, my friend.
It's a pleasure as usual, Kira. So see you next Saturday. Same channel, same time.
And by then, harmonize
your contrasts.
Ciao.
Bye-bye.
Bye.